Hey everybody, welcome back to 608 Fab. I'm in the shop again today. It's beautiful out. Got the garage door open, sun shining, cicadas are singing, whatever the heck is making a lot of obnoxious noise. Maybe it's crickets, but it doesn't sound like crickets because the sun's shining. So last night I posted a photo of some aluminum bars, aluminum legs, wrapped in red fishnets showed up at the house, and a photo of a heim joint. That heim joint's giant. As I posted in the last video, I was straightening a lower link. Well, maybe not the last video. A couple videos ago, I was straightening one of my 1.5 DOM quarter wall lower links that I just keep bending. And when I built it, I knew that that was a weak point, right? Never broke it. My fear the whole time was actually snapping the 3/4 inch heims off, that or something along those lines. Never really gave thought to bending the bars. Figured I wouldn't be landing on them hard enough. Well, now that we're 3 years into this project, I'm wheeling it harder and pushing the limits of it more, learning how it works and what it needs, and how to get it through the rocks and up the hills. And now I'm bending links. So every time we're out wheeling, I got spaghetti noodle links. By the time we're done, I throw them in the tube bender. I true them up a little bit and then flip them over. So maybe I bend them the other way a little bit, whatever I can't knock out of it, and with the bender, and I'll just knock them straight, and then I'll knock them further bent. Well, every time you bend them back and forth, they obviously get weaker, and at the same time, they were a weak link. So I had a painful expenditure with Busted Knuckle Off-Road. It's painful purely in the respect that I'm going to destroy these beautiful chunks of aluminum in the rocks. If this was on a drag car or a show car or a street rod, the expenditure would be very justifiable. But for what I'm doing, it kind of hurts. So let's show you what I got going on. So here's our red fishnets, wrapping some 2.5 inch 70/75 T6 aluminum. This is legit rock bouncer stuff, okay? And then 1.25 inch threaded heims, reducers, or what the heck do they call that? Whatever that bushing is, so it gets the extended travel. Taking the 1 inch hole down to a 3/4 inch bolt, and that's replacing this thing. So if we look up this thing, you can see it's got a bend in it. So again, I've been straightening these link bars over and over again over the last 5 outings now that I've been running it harder. So we're putting these monsters in. So easiest way to do this, like when I made the link bars, to make them even, I stacked them up on top of each other and match the length. Look how much bigger those things are. So got one in. And a couple things I'm going to talk about. So the Busted Knuckle, these guys freaking rocked. Okay, I ordered these I think on Tuesday this week, and they showed up Saturday. How cool is that? The heims, this is interesting. So the links had Jeep Buggy, Busted Knuckle Off-Road at mailing address, shipping labels on it. The heims came in a Barnes box, and that kind of surprised me a little bit. It's got bill to Jeep Buggy on it, and shipped from Barnes to me. So that's kind of cool. He obviously has a good relationship for getting those parts from Barnes. I know in a pinch I can overnight them from Barnes now, but this is that joint That's the size of my hand damn near. So pretty cool. When I unpackaged this stuff and started putting things together, the threads inside of the busted knuckle stuff was minty. All right, so everything he machined and drilled was perfection. The way Barnes shipped these, they shipped them, you know, packed in, obviously everything was in Ziploc bags. They had, there's some paper back there. I set my grease guns on, some paper here. But what happened is obviously FedEx beats these around a little bit from wherever to my house. And if you look at the threads are a little dinged up in various places. So they did not thread into the aluminum bars very well. So I had to sit down, turned on some tunes, and hand filed, or thread file all of the boogers off of these things. So let me get this other one. So I haven't taken this one even out of the package yet, but if you look up that, these took some wax. Okay, there's a good one right, let's see if I can get it here. Right there, you can see right dead center in the screen, that thread's whacked. So sit down, don't just hammer them into the aluminum links, because that chromoly Heim is going to make its own thread clearance in the aluminum link, because it's obviously stiffer. So on this side of the shop, I got one put in already. So I was running 5/8 bolts, so I had to ream the bolt holes out in all of my tabs and then get everything situated. Worked out good. The other night I painted my upper links. After 2+ years of those upper links being in there, I finally pulled them out, cleaned them up, and painted them. I threaded these left hand, right hand. Anytime I do left hand, right hand stuff, I do, if it's on side to side, like my front steering here will come up here. This is a race car trick that an old boy taught me. So sometimes you forget what's what. So anything on the left side, passenger side, or excuse me, driver's side, is the left hand thread. Anything on the right hand side is obviously going to then be the right hand thread. Then you go, well, there's a front and a rear. There's no left and right when it comes to front and rear. So left becomes the leading end of the link. So that left thread, I point it forward. I mentioned this probably 2-3 years ago when I was doing some suspension work on this thing. Figured I'd reiterate how I do that. That way when you crawl underneath this thing with a giant wrench and you got your other giant wrench on these flats, you know which way you got to turn what. So that's easy trick. Right hand rear, left hand leading. So I asked them to, normally somewhere in this area here, they do the BKOR laser engraving on it. I asked them to leave that off. I intend to, depending on how ugly these get, how fast these get, and we get the mill up and running, I'm probably gonna do something cool. Like just ball mill something into the top, like maybe 3 balls, like shallow ball mill grooves on it, just to give it kind of something cool. Play with the mill. Obviously I'm not going to do anything on the bottom side because it's just going to get the snot beat out of it and be all gouged up, but I figured it would be fun to do something in the top so they stick out and look a little weird. While I had this side all kind of popped apart, I changed out this shock. This shock was the one that was pouring oil out of it, so I'm not going to change the other side. I got the pressures set equal. Although it is listing maybe 1/4 inch to the passenger side, but that way I've got one used one on, one fresh one on, and I've got one brand new spare and one leaky spare. So next stop, taking this guy out. All right, so second side is done. Link bar is in. This side was way easier. I had a combination of everything to try and ream those things out. And what I ended up doing was 1/4 inch extension, step bit, and well, it was 3/4 step bit. So final pass was just punched straight through. And you know, this side lined up a lot better. The other side, originally the brackets were drilled a little crooked. The smaller heims were a little bit more forgiving, so I had to sit there with a die grinder and egg shape and kind of like slide holes over just a little bit. The driver, one tab on the driver's rear is not perfect, but it's such a giant bolt, hammered down as tight as I could get it, and I am not concerned about it. There's the air compressor. So with the air compressor firing up, I'm calling this episode done. So if you look in the background here, we're all jacked up, we're all torn apart, and the hood's missing. Come back next time. I'll show you what's cooking in that. Thanks for watching as always. Like, share, and subscribe. Do something cool in your garage, guys.